Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English Unlimited podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jamie.
So today we are diving deep into something that might be the single biggest barrier for intermediate English speakers.
That's the invisible one.
Exactly. It's the one you can't solve with a grammar book. And I'm actually going to start with a confession because I think it's so relatable. And it happened to me this morning.
Oh, I'm ready. I love these stories.
I was writing an email in English, actually, to a client, and it was supposed to be a really simple email, but I think I spent about 6 minutes just staring at the screen.
The blank page.
Total blank page terror. I tapped one sentence, and my brain went, nope, that sounds too formal, so delete.
Right.
Then I tapped another one. Oh, no, that's way too casual. Delete again. And this is the embarrassing part, I checked the spelling of a word I absolutely knew how to spell.
Just to avoid hitting send?
Yes. Just to avoid having to commit. It was this total mental battle over 2 or 3 sentences.
That whole cycle of typing, deleting, retyping, it's the perfect picture of a mental block, isn't it?
It is.
It's not that you don't have the knowledge. You clearly knew the words. It's this fear of committing to one version. It's the search for the perfect way to say it.
100%.
And we've all been there. Maybe you're sitting there avoiding your actual to-do list.
Right. But hey, at least we're improving our English while we procrastinate.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
feels productive. But that struggle you're describing, that mental wrestling match, that's really the core of our deep dive today.
It is. So many of you listening probably have fantastic English just sitting in your minds. You can listen to this, you can read articles, you get the vocabulary. Your head is full of these, perfect, beautiful sentences.
But the mouth stays completely still.
It's like your voice is on mute.
That's the problem right there. Too much thinking and almost zero talking. We've seen this so many times, especially for B1 intermediate learners. The biggest challenge isn't learning the next 500 words. It's getting comfortable actually using the thousands of words you already know.
Absolutely. So our mission today is really clear. We are going to stop focusing so much on the complicated grammar rules for a minute and start focusing on how to calm that noisy brain.
We want to help you find the unmute button.
Yes, and start using your English voice in real life, whether that's ordering a coffee or joining a meeting or even just sending a short voice message without, deleting it 5 times first.
This deep dive is called Stop Thinking and Start Talking. And we're going to break down those psychological barriers and give you genuinely simple, actionable tools.
We're talking tiny, repeatable steps, things that make speaking feel like a normal conversation, not some kind of high-stakes exam. But before we jump into all the stories and the tools, we have a tiny favor to ask you.
Just a small one.
If you're enjoying this deep dive, please just take 1 second right now to like this episode and subscribe to the English Unlimited podcast channel.
That simple click really does help more learners find us, and it helps us keep making this content for you.
And we want to hear from you. We have a comment prompt for you today that actually uses the muscles we're talking about building.
It's a bit of practice.
Yeah. Just write a short, simple sentence in the comments below. Start with, I'm your name from your country, and then finish this thought. One situation where I overthink and stay quiet is...
I like that.
When you write that down, you're not just commenting, you're practicing, and you're facing the problem head on.
And that is progress, which is one of the most important ideas we're going to talk about today.
It is, and just a quick note on the level for today, we're aiming this at B1 intermediate learners.
Right, so the language will be clear, supportive, and we'll go deep, but we're keeping the structure and the pace manageable.
And if you're a strong beginner, don't worry. This deep dive is absolutely safe for you. It's actually going to help you see the path forward to that intermediate fluency.
And because we know how important vocabulary is, we're going to naturally explain important phrases as we go. Things like overthinking or on mute.
And then, at the very end, we'll have our word tour where we review everything slowly and give you simple example sentences. So definitely stick around for that.
Okay. Let's get started. Let's talk about that moment.
Yeah.
The moment the brain just shuts down.
So let's go back to that feeling, that universal moment where you are so ready to speak and then poof, everything just disappears. You had a great story about a bakery.
Oh, the bakery story, yes.
Yeah.
It feels like it was yesterday. I was traveling, and I was so proud of myself because I had prepared for this exact moment.
You did your homework.
I did my homework.
Yeah.
I was determined to use the local language, and I practiced this one simple request in my head probably 5 times on the walk over.
Okay, so what was the perfect practiced sentence?
It was simple. It was direct. It was grammatically correct. It was something like, hello, may I please have that chocolate cake? A perfect B1 sentence.
Totally. Everything's in place. Confidence level is high.
Maybe an 8 out of 10. But, everything feels 10 out of 10 in the privacy of your own head,
All
right?
right. Yes. That's where we're all fluent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I get to the counter. The lady was super friendly. She smiled. And she immediately responded to my hello with a quick follow-up question in her language.
And fast.
So fast. And so natural. It was nothing like the slow, careful pronunciation from my textbook audio.
Right. The real world doesn't slow down for you. So what happened in your head in that split second?
It was a physical feeling. It really was. The best way I can describe it is like someone walked up to my brain, saw the Wi-Fi signal of my language skills, and just pulled the plug out of the wall. Just connection lost. The whole system froze.
Yeah, it's such a good analogy. It's the cognitive load, right? The brain is trying to process her fast speech, remember your practice sentence, and figure out her question all at the same time.
It was pure overload.
Yeah.
Total system failure. And the result was word loss. The perfect sentence, may I please have that chocolate cake, just vanished.
Gone.
All that was left was this, like, a messy pile of English words. I think I managed to say, hi, I cake this, please.
Well, pointing.
Oh, intense pointing, like a lost child.
And it's so interesting that we do that. When the words fail, we go right back to the most basic nonverbal communication.
It's true. And it feels so embarrassing,
Yeah.
Especially when you walk out of the shop, you think, why? Why couldn't I say that one simple sentence? I knew the words, I knew the grammar.
The skill was there.
The skill was there, but the delivery system failed under pressure.
And this doesn't just happen when you're ordering food. It's even worse in professional settings. You had a story about a video call.
Right, that was so much worse.
Right.
Because the stakes just feel so much higher.
Right.
And in that case, the words were in my head.
Yeah.
I was listening to a discussion with native speakers, and I had this detailed, complex, really relevant opinion. I built the whole argument in my mind. It was flowing beautifully, great vocabulary.
The movie script version.
The perfect movie script version.
Yeah.
And then the person leading the meeting turns to me and says, what are your thoughts on that proposal?
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly, the silent, beautiful theater in my mind turned into what I can only describe as a really, really crowded room.
A crowded room. What was the crowd made of?
Noise, just sheer noise. It was like everyone started shouting at me at once. The grammar police were yelling, check your tenses. Is that the right preposition?
I know them.
The vocabulary critic was shouting, is that word too simple? Find a better synonym, quick.
And the fear monster in the corner.
The fear monster was whispering, if you mess this up, they're all going to know you're not as smart as they think you are.
Wow, that's a full-scale internal panic attack, and it's all happening in, what, a quarter of a second?
Exactly. My brain was trying to manage all these critics at the same time. Tense, word choice, pronunciation, anxiety, and I just couldn't access that clean, perfect sentence I'd rehearsed. The system overloaded again.
So you default. You go to the path of least resistance.
Precisely. I said something incredibly short, like, yes, I agree, or maybe it was, that sounds good.
You used 4 words.
I used maybe 4 words when I had 25 words of, valuable insight ready to go.
Yeah.
And the feeling of regret afterward was just so intense.
And that is the core issue we really want to shine a light on for all of you.
Yeah.
It's often not the English language itself that's the problem. It's the overthinking.
It's the anxiety from that internal noisy room.
Yeah, let's make sure we're really clear on these terms. So when we say overthinking, what do we mean?
Overthinking is just thinking too much about something, so much that the thinking itself stops you from actually doing the thing.
You're analyzing every tiny detail, every comma, every word, instead of just letting the simple message come out.
Exactly. And when that happens,
Your mouth goes on mute. We all know what mute is. No sound. If your TV is on mute, the information is there. You can see the picture, but the audio is off.
it's the same in your head. The ideas are running perfectly, but you don't allow the voice to come out.
So our task today is to help you turn the volume up.
To go from being an observer in the conversation to being a participant.
So we need to understand what's powering that mute button, what's filling that crowded room with noise.
From what we've seen, there are 2 main culprits, especially for intermediate learners. One is fear, and the other is perfectionism. Let's start with fear.
Fear it's the oldest, most powerful emotion we have. And for language learners, it's almost always the fear of failure. Or, more specifically, the fear of judgment.
Right. And when we use the word judge here, we mean that critical opinion. It's the worry that someone listening to you will form a negative thought,
Even if they don't say it out loud.
especially if they don't say it out loud. Your brain translates a small mistake into, wow, their English is really bad, or they aren't very smart.
And that fear often comes from somewhere, right? It's usually connected to past negative experiences. The brain is excellent at remembering pain. It's a survival thing.
It absolutely is.
Mm.
I remember reading about a study where they monitored the brain activity of language learners. They found that a specific negative interaction, like being corrected really harshly, it lights up the same parts of the brain that register physical pain. It's a real trauma response.
So it's not just feeling embarrassed, it's your brain actually screaming, "Danger, do not do this again."
Exactly that. Think about the classic story from school. A student makes one small, simple mistake. Maybe they use the wrong preposition or mispronounce a single word.
And the teacher corrects them, but it's the way they do it.
Yes, a cold, dismissive voice. Maybe the rest of the class laughs a little bit.
That moment,
Yeah.
that cold correction, that quick feeling of being excluded, that can be devastating.
It can change your whole approach to learning. That student might decide, maybe not even consciously, it is safer for me to be silent.
And they just stop raising their hand for years.
The body remembers that feeling of shame. And so every time an opportunity to speak English comes up in the future, that inner alarm goes off. Beep, beep. Danger. Risk of shame. Stay quiet.
That's the cold teacher trauma. I think a lot of people also have the high school laugh trauma.
Tell me about that.
It's that quick cutting joke from a classmate or even a friend. It focuses on your accent, or you use one wrong word and they laugh.
And that one comment, you sound funny, or that's not how you say it, can make an adult learner decide that the safest strategy is just to read very fast or mumble or just stay quiet.
It's a defense mechanism, one you build to protect yourself from what feels like a social risk.
Exactly. So that's fear. It's about avoiding shame. But the second silent killer is its very sophisticated cousin, perfectionism.
Ah, perfectionism.
Let's define that one simply. Perfectionism is the belief that if it's not perfect, it's completely useless.
And that mindset is so harmful for intermediate speakers.
It is, because B1 is the level where you start to build more complex sentences, and you suddenly realize just how many rules and exceptions you don't know yet.
You know enough to recognize your own mistakes, but you don't have the automatic skill to fix them instantly.
Correct. So the perfectionist inside you says, I must produce a perfect, complex, native-level sentence. But the B1 brain, especially when it's stressed, just can't manage that demand for complexity and accuracy at the same time.
This reminds me of the perfect bus analogy. This is such a great way to picture it.
Right, so imagine you're at a bus stop. The bus stop is the speaking opportunity. You need to get somewhere. You need to communicate your idea.
But you're waiting.
You're waiting for the perfect bus. The luxurious one with the flawless sentence structure, the perfect idiom, the best vocabulary.
And while you're waiting for that perfect bus, what happens?
All the other buses, the practical buses, the simple, maybe 80% correct sentences, they all drive right past you.
And you just wave them away. Nope, that preposition is a bit wrong. Nope, that word is too simple.
And eventually, the moment is gone. The conversation topic changes, the meeting ends, the party moves to another room. And you are left standing all alone at the bus stop. You were ready to go, but you missed every single chance.
Wow. The irony is just, the search for perfection leads to zero production. Nothing.
We hear this from learners all the time. They say things like, I spent the entire team meeting mentally rewriting my comment.
And by the time they get to the 11th version of the sentence,
The host has moved on to the next topic on the agenda. It's too late.
or in a social situation, you spend so long polishing a funny comment that the moment just passes, and you end up just pretending to check your phone to look busy.
Anything to avoid the feeling of having missed the moment.
That forced silence. That's the sound of fear and old memories and perfectionism all shouting louder than your real desire to speak.
But the good news, and this is important, is that this internal noise can be trained. You can learn to manage it. You don't have to wait for the fear to completely disappear.
You can start talking even if the fear is still sitting there in the corner of the room.
And that is a huge relief.
Okay, so this is where we shift from understanding the problem to taking action.
From diagnosis to a plan.
We've identified the problem. Overthinking, fear, perfectionism, all leading to silence. So now we need simple, practical tools that attack the core issue.
Which is that overwhelming cognitive load.
Right. We need to reduce the amount of stuff your brain has to process in that critical moment.
And we have 3 really effective tools to help you do that.
Okay, tool number 1.
This one is all about radical simplicity. Use short, simple sentences. Stop trying to give long, complex speeches.
Okay, but why is that such a trap for B1 learners specifically?
Because at B1, you know how to build a complex sentence. You know about different clauses, you know different tenses. But when the pressure is on, trying to manage all of those parts at the same time is what creates that crowded room. Your brain is trying to find vocabulary, check the tense, and make sure the structure is logical all at once. It's just too much work.
So the idea here is to reduce the cognitive load.
Exactly.
By making the sentence simple, you remove most of the things you have to worry about. You just need to focus on subject, verb, object.
You're prioritizing clarity and speed over trying to sound elegant or, academic. Let's look at some real examples of how to use this small version rule.
Okay.
So, scenario 1, you're talking about your professional goals. The trap, the long, complex version might be, I have always been deeply interested in improving my cross-cultural communication skills in diverse team environments.
That's a lot of words. High chance of getting stuck somewhere in there.
Totally. Now, the solution, the simple version, is just, I want to speak better with my team.
Same message. Zero risk.
Exactly. Okay, scenario 2, you want to say that something is difficult.
The long academic version could be, recently I've been feeling somewhat overwhelmed with the volume of my assigned studies and professional obligations.
Very formal.
The simple solution, study is hard these days, or even just, I have too much work.
It's immediate, it's communicative, and it's real. People get it.
Okay, I have to challenge this a little bit.
Please do.
Isn't there a risk here? If you always use these super simple sentences, will you ever push yourself to learn the complex structures you need to get to B2 or C1?
That is an excellent question.
Yeah.
And it's a necessary one. The key here is that we are talking about high-pressure, spontaneous situations.
Okay.
In those moments, your choice is between simple communication or total silence. We're using the short sentence as a lifeline, not as a permanent strategy.
A lifeline, I like that word. It's your backup plan.
Precisely. You should absolutely keep studying complex grammar in your own time. But when you are in a real conversation with a real person waiting for your answer, you use the lifeline.
And if you manage to say that short sentence?
You've broken the silence. That's a win. And that little success gives you the confidence to maybe try a slightly longer sentence next time in a safer moment.
So simple and spoken is the first step toward complex and fluent.
Always.
Okay, that makes sense. What's tool number 2?
Tool number 2 is essential for joining group conversations. It is. Start with the reaction words.
Reaction words.
These are tiny phrases you use while someone else is speaking. They signal that you're listening, you understand, and you're part of the conversation.
And they're short, but they're really powerful. They solve 2 huge problems at once.
What are those 2 problems?
First, they instantly break your silence. You are participating without having to create a complex, original thought from nothing.
Right.
And second, they buy your brain time. If you say, oh, really? While your friend is talking, your brain gets 2 extra seconds to find or build your next sentence.
There's a little pause button for your brain. The mechanism here is that reaction words rely on what we call social scripts.
Okay, what's a social script?
A social script is like a pre-rehearsed line that requires almost no thinking. When a native speaker is listening to a story, they don't invent a new response every time.
No.
They rely on these automatic scripts. That's crazy. No way. I hear you.
Yeah.
We need to teach B1 learners to use these same scripts.
So let's define it simply. Reaction words are little verbal signals you use to show the other person you're listening and that you care.
Think of it like opening the door to the conversation. If you just stare silently, the door is closed. But if you say, that's nice, the door is a little bit open and you can step inside.
Let's give some really powerful examples.
Okay, if you're surprised, you can say, no way, or really?
If you want to show sympathy for something difficult, that's difficult. Or, I get you.
For agreement, totally. Or, I see what you mean.
Or if you're interested and want them to continue, oh, tell me more.
Right, and you could use these reaction words to build a really simple but reliable 3-step conversation pattern. It's a template you can use right away.
Okay, so let's imagine your friend says, I have to work this weekend and I'm really not happy about it.
Step 1 is the reaction. You jump in right away with one of those small phrases, oh, really? Or, that's difficult.
Step 2, a small opinion or reflection. You use a simple sentence, like from tool 1, that sounds tiring, or I hate working on weekends.
And then step 3, a simple follow-up question. Keep it basic. Do you have a lot of projects to finish? Or what time do you have to start?
Reaction, small opinion, simple question.
And just like that, you have successfully had a little conversation. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a deep philosophical debate.
But it was real.
It was real communication, and it was powered by these low-pressure social scripts.
I love that. Okay, what's our third and final tool?
Tool number 3 builds on this idea of simplicity and automation. It's prepare ready phrases.
Ready phrases.
This is about putting whole sentences into your muscle memory so they require almost no help from your overthinking brain.
They're like pre-packaged tools you can just pull out instantly when you're stressed.
Exactly. So let's define them. Ready phrases are sentences you have practiced so many times that they are ready in your mouth. You don't have to think about the structure or the vocabulary when you need them.
And these are so important because they cover those moments where silence is just not an option. Like when you need to ask for help or make a request or just buy something.
Let's break it down into different situations where having a ready phrase can change everything. So first, at work or in class, when you're confused.
A great ready phrase is, sorry, can you repeat that?
Simple, polite, essential. Or, I don't understand this part yet.
That's so much better than just sitting there in silent confusion.
And another good one is, can I ask a quick question about that? It buys you time and shows you're paying attention.
Okay, what about in daily life, like ordering things?
You can practice the specific sentence for your favorite thing. Hi, can I get a latte, please?
Or if you don't know what to get, can you recommend something popular? That's a perfect question for any restaurant or store.
Or maybe, is there a vegetarian option? Or is there another option? Very useful.
The genius of the ready phrase is that your brain doesn't have to build the sentence from parts, subject, verb, object in that stressful moment.
No, it just pulls the whole finished product out. It's like a keyboard shortcut for your mouth.
And you don't need 50 of them.
Not at all. Just 5 phrases that cover your most common high-pressure situations. The coffee order, asking for repetition, a polite question that can completely change your day.
So the final message for all 3 tools, short sentences, reaction words, and ready phrases, is to remember this.
Simple and spoken is always, always better than perfect and silent.
Because silence guarantees 0 progress. So now we have our action plan, we know the tools, but you can't really practice these tools in the same stressful situations that caused the problem in the first place, can you?
No, you can't. That's a critical point. You need to practice in low-pressure environments.
Low pressure, let's define that really clearly.
Okay, a low-pressure practice environment is one that's relaxed, it's not stressful, there are no grades, no deadlines, and most importantly, nobody is watching you with a critical, serious face.
It's rehearsal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like an actor or a dancer practices alone, in private, before they ever go on stage in front of an audience.
And this practice builds confidence because it gets your mouth used to the physical movements of speaking English.
Okay, so what's the first method for low-pressure practice?
The most accessible, least scary method is simply talking to yourself as you go about your day.
Now, a lot of people might hear that and think, I'm going to feel so silly doing that. How do you get over that feeling?
First, you have to embrace the silly. It's okay if it feels strange. Growth always feels a bit strange at first.
And second, you have to remember the goal. The goal isn't to have a perfect intellectual conversation.
No.
The goal is just to train your mouth and your tongue muscles. You are simply narrating your reality.
Can you give us some examples of how to do that?
You can start with simple actions. Now, I am cutting the onions. I need to boil the water for the pasta. But you should try to move beyond that quickly.
To what?
To narrating your internal state, your feelings, your observations. This uses richer vocabulary. For example, I feel a little tired today because I woke up early, but I am happy I'm learning this new skill.
Or even just looking out the window. I see the rain is starting. I hope I remembered my umbrella.
Yes, because narrating your feelings and observations forces you to use the present tense and your most immediate vocabulary.
And because you are the only audience, the stakes are 0.
Exactly. The more your mouth physically forms the words, the less strange it will feel when you have to use those same muscles in a real conversation. It's exercise.
It's a workout for your English mouth. Okay, what's method 2?
This one is very powerful, but it does require some trust. It's using voice messages to a safe friend.
This moves you from just talking to yourself to actual, real interaction.
But the word safe here is key. The friend you choose has to be someone you trust completely. someone who understands that you are practicing and that you will make mistakes.
So you have to be very clear with them first. You don't just surprise them with a long English voice message.
No, you have to establish the trust contract.
Yeah.
You tell them very clearly, hey, my English is not perfect, but I really want to practice. Is it okay if I send you short messages in English sometime?
And you can respond in our language or in English, whatever is easiest for you.
This step is psychologically brilliant. By saying up front, I am practicing, I will make mistakes, you lower the pressure instantly. You get ahead of the judgment, the thing you're scared of,
Yeah.
because you've already judged yourself gently.
But what if you don't have a friend who's a good fit for this? Maybe you're learning by yourself, or your friends aren't really into language practice.
That's a really important question. Don't let that stop you. You can look for online language exchange partners on apps or in groups designed for that.
So you find someone whose goal is the same as yours.
Yes. It removes the social pressure of a casual friendship and replaces it with a shared learning goal. That can be very effective. The key is just making sure the environment is non-judgmental and supportive.
Okay, so that's talking to yourself and voice notes. What's the third method?
Finally, we have the most supportive partner of all, the mirror practice.
And the biggest benefit, as we said, is that the mirror will never, ever laugh at your accent.
It's true. And the mirror gives you a unique advantage. It forces you to look at your own nonverbal communication. Speaking English isn't just about the words. It's about confidence, posture, eye contact.
So how can you use the mirror most effectively?
Stand in front of it and practice those ready phrases we talked about earlier, but don't just listen to the words. Watch your face say them.
See yourself speaking.
Yes. Practice keeping eye contact with yourself. Practice speaking with an open, relaxed posture, not all slumped over.
You could try saying 1 or 2 simple sentences about your day and really focus on the feeling. Today I feel energized after this deep dive, or I learned that my English is under construction.
If you can see yourself speak with confidence in the mirror, it makes it much less shocking when you have to do it in front of a real person.
It's like practicing your dance moves in your room before you go to the party.
It's muscle memory for both your mouth and the confidence center in your brain. You're linking the words to a positive, confident image of yourself. Just start with 1 minute a day.
Okay, so we've covered the external actions, the tools, the practice environments. Now we have to talk about the internal stuff.
The voice inside your head. This might be the hardest part, but it's also the most important.
The inner critic. We all have one, but for language learners, it can be especially harsh and loud.
That inner voice says really brutal, negative things. I'm stupid, my English is terrible, I always sound so awkward, I can't talk like a native.
And that kind of negative self-talk is so toxic. It just reinforces all the fear and the trauma we talked about earlier.
Of course, if you keep telling yourself you're terrible at English, why would you ever risk opening your mouth and proving yourself right?
So we have to interrupt that pattern. We need to introduce small, gentle changes to that inner sentence.
It doesn't have to be some huge, unbelievable jump from I'm terrible to I'm a genius. Just a slight adjustment to make your internal voice supportive instead of destructive.
So instead of that negative and final judgment, my English is terrible.
We are replacing it with a new, more hopeful, and much more realistic sentence.
And that new sentence is,
My English is under construction.
that phrase, under construction, is so powerful. Let's really break that down for everyone listening.
Okay, so we usually say a building or a road is under construction when people are actively working on it.
Right. It means it's not finished. It might be messy. Maybe there's dust and loud noises.
But the most important part is that progress is happening.
It acknowledges that you are not perfect, but it reframes that imperfection as an active, ongoing process.
It means I'm working on it, I'm building my skills, and it's okay that it's not finished right now because I am moving forward.
It completely removes that immediate judgment of failure and replaces it with the expectation of growth. It's a game changer.
And here's another important reframe. Instead of the limiting statement, I can't talk, you can try. I'm learning to talk more, and every sentence counts.
Or even just, I tried a simple sentence today, and that is a win.
It shifts your focus entirely to progress. And we need to define progress differently. It's not about perfection.
So what is it?
Progress is simply moving forward, step by step. Even if the steps are tiny and slow. If you can understand more of this deep dive today than you could 6 months ago.
That's progress.
If you manage to use one ready phrase at the coffee shop instead of just pointing.
That's progress. We have to emphasize this. Every single sentence you speak, no matter how many mistakes are in it, is a step forward.
You're engaging the system. You're training the muscle. A mistake is just information. It tells you what you need to study next. It is not a moral failure.
And this mindset shift is exactly why we gave you that comment challenge at the beginning. One situation where I overthink and stay quiet is...
By simply writing that down, by acknowledging your struggle, you have already stopped hiding from it. You are taking ownership. You are engaging with the problem.
You have started the progress. You are choosing to build your English actively, even if it feels a bit dusty and loud sometimes.
Your English is under construction, and that is a beautiful, powerful place to be.
All right, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's take a nice, calm, deliberate walk through our word tour.
This section is specifically for our B1 learners to really consolidate the key vocabulary and phrases we've used today.
This is a low-pressure moment. Just breathe, listen, and let these critical ideas stick in your long-term memory. Let's start with the core problem, overthinking.
Overthinking. This means you think too much about something. You analyze every single detail so much that the thinking process itself actually stops you from taking action. It turns a simple task into a big problem.
For example, I spent 10 minutes overthinking the structure of a simple email, and I still haven't sent it.
Or, I knew the answer, but I was overthinking the grammar and I missed my chance to speak.
Okay, next up. The result of overthinking, being on mute.
Mute. This just means completely silent. No sound is coming out. We use it to describe your voice. Your head is full of perfect sentences, but your mouth is on mute.
It means the ideas are there, but the voice is blocked because of fear or pressure.
Next, our second silent killer. Perfectionism.
Perfectionism. This is a noun. It's the belief or the anxiety that everything you do must be flawless. If it's not perfect, it's unacceptable or totally useless.
This is so damaging for language learners. For example, my perfectionism keeps me quiet because I wait for the flawless sentence that never comes.
Right. To fight that pressure, we talked about low-pressure practice.
Low pressure. This is an adjective phrase. It describes an environment or a situation that is relaxed, easy, and not stressful. It's the opposite of an exam.
The goal is simple practice, without any fear of failure or judgment.
Exactly. For example, talking to myself about what I see on the street is a very low-pressure way to practice English.
And the goal, no matter how small the step, is progress.
Progress. As in the noun, this just means moving forward step by step, gradually improving. Even if the movement is slow or messy, it emphasizes growth over perfection.
For instance, I am happy with my progress this year. I still make mistakes, but I can watch a movie without subtitles now.
Every single sentence spoken in English is progress.
And that beautiful mindset shift, under construction.
Under construction. This phrase is normally for buildings or roads being worked on. It means something is unfinished, incomplete. But the important part is that work is happening.
So when you say, my English is under construction, you are saying, I am actively building my language skills. It's not finished, and that is okay.
You're focused on the process, not just the final result.
To help break the silence, we introduced reaction words.
Reaction words. These are those small, short phrases you use instantly while someone else is talking to show them you are listening and engaged.
They're powerful because they are like automatic social scripts. They require almost no original thought.
Examples are, oh, really? No way. Or, that's difficult. They help you fill the silence and gain time to think.
And finally, the automation tool. Ready phrases.
Ready phrases. These are complete sentences that you have practiced so many times that they are stored in your mouth's muscle memory. You can pull them out instantly in stressful situations without thinking about grammar.
They reduce the mental work. For example, my ready phrase for work is always, can I ask a quick question?
Or, I always practice the ready phrase, can I get a glass of water, please, when I go to a cafe.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive into breaking the silence.
We've looked at the mental barriers, that fear and perfectionism, and we've armed you with tools that directly attack that feeling of being overwhelmed.
The central idea to take away is this. You do not need perfect English to speak. You just need courageous, simple English.
Don't wait for perfection. Don't let overthinking keep your mouth on mute. One small, imperfect step today is infinitely better than waiting silently for a perfect moment that might never come.
So here is your final easy task, your micro challenge for today.
Say one real sentence in English today. Just one.
Choose a low-pressure way to do it. It can be narrating a simple action while you're alone, sending a voice message to a safe friend, or just saying one sentence to yourself in the mirror.
You could say, I feel good that I finished this deep dive, or I'm going to try a ready phrase at the store later.
Choose a small, normal moment. Do not wait for that perfect bus. Just jump on the next one that comes along.
Your English is under construction, and that process is a beautiful sign of your effort. You should celebrate that progress.
And here is a final provocative thought for you to take with you.
If you share this deep dive with a friend who you know also struggles with overthinking, maybe the two of you can agree to become low-pressure speaking partners.
By creating a safe, judgment-free agreement together, you make the practice safe not just for yourself, but for someone else too.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Keep talking, keep trying, and keep building your amazing language skills.
And don't forget to subscribe to the English Unlimited podcast for more episodes. I'm Charlie. See you next time.
And I'm Jamie. Bye.